I mean, it seems to me two pretty big, wars going on, and the West is losing its appetite to back what I consider to be the goodies in both particular conflicts.
It is, because the West is focused on, it's election season. We've got 60 elections across the globe this year, including Vladimir Putin's on the 17th of March next month, St. Patrick's Day, UK elections, local elections in May, general election in the autumn, and of course US presidential elections. So anything that is creating a political hiatus is something that the West is trying to get rid of, and that's why it wants all of these conflicts paused if they possibly can.
Philip, I'm not sure that Netanyahu is too bothered. He's certainly not bothered about what the average Labour backbencher thinks about ceasefire in Gaza. Probably doesn't even know who Keir Starmer is. May have some slight interest in Rishi Sunak and David Cameron's attitude, but he will listen to America. And I'm wondering whether you think he will listen to Prince William, who has staged an extraordinary intervention today. We think probably breaking with diplomatic protocol, that royals don't get involved in these kind of issues normally. Do you think Netanyahu will listen, will sit up and say, oh my God, even Prince William's getting involved now? Or will Netanyahu continue as he is on his mission to destroy Hamas, no let up in the hostilities?
Well, what we hear publicly is a reflection of what's probably going on behind closed doors, but in a much stronger way. So Netanyahu will sit up and listen. The difficulty is whether he can actually convince the more extreme right-wing elements of his coalition. Remember, he hasn't got absolute power. He's got a coalition of lots of little bits and pieces that he's trying to please in his dealing with not just Gaza, but the Palestinians across Israel and elsewhere. The Americans will put pressure on. He can use that to put pressure on those extreme elements of his government. Whether that will change the price of fish or not, I'm not sure at all. The mood music that's coming out of Netanyahu is he's seeing a final, sharp, quick operation to get rid of the remnants of Hamas. He may find some other way of dressing that up and meeting what the international community is telling him to do, or he may just do as he's always done and just ignore us.
I mean, is that even doable? I note that we are, of course, having a motion tabled by the SNP on an immediate ceasefire tomorrow in our own parliament, and Labour's added an amendment saying, yeah, we want a humanitarian ceasefire, but on condition all the hostages are now released and that Israel can be assured that on October the 7th won't happen again. That seems to me to be a pretty tall order.
Oh, it's a hugely tall order. But the advantage Netanyahu's got in here is that he can define what he means by the destruction of Hamas. So he's been very careful in what he said so far and left it very general. It's undefined. So he could turn around and say, our intelligence has now said we have dismantled Hamas's military structure. They're not in a position to be able to carry out a 7th of October type attack again, and therefore we declare victory. That's where he's in a position where he has got a degree of wiggle room. Whether the international community pressure on him is going to do anything or not, it will be playing in the back of his mind whether he can use that to influence those hardline elements of his government. That is something that I don't think he's probably got the power to do that. And of course, if he gets to a point where his government collapses, which could happen if he doesn't get this right. Remember, there's still potential corruption charges and other things against him. So he's got a personal interest in keeping things going as long as he can.
Philip, we're fascinated, of course, by this, I would suggest, unprecedented intervention by Prince William, by a member of the British royal family, to get involved in international politics, geopolitics, as Alex would no doubt frame it, quite rightly, of course. How will this move by Prince William be greeted in the international community behind closed doors? Because I would suggest he's overstepped the mark. I didn't vote for him. I don't know why he's conducting international policies. Others might say, well, his heart is in the right place. I would accept that. But this is new territory. And whatever you think of his intervention, the royal family's words carry a lot of power. How will, behind closed doors, the international community be greeting this unprecedented move by Prince William?
Well, I think it's fascinating. His father got criticised for entering into geopolitics whenever he started talking about climate change and everything else, and therefore, it is not unusual for the Prince of Wales to be more outspoken than you would expect someone next in line for the throne. Of course, if whenever he succeeds the throne, he'll be completely neutral again, like his father is and his grandmother was. And we have to recognise that he's an influencer. No matter what, Elon Musk will come out and make comments, as will other senior business people, as will Hollywood stars, as will anyone else, because they're influencers. Prince William's got the right to make those comments as a global influencer as much as anyone else. And actually, I don't think his heart's just in the right place. I think his logic's in the right place as well. So, I think this is a positive thing.
Philip, thank you ever so
Great to
much.
talk to you,
Always
Philip.
brilliant hearing from Philip.
Thanks, Philip.